Welcome to Terror Hawk Recap. Today, we're diving into the terrifying world of the 2023 movie, Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie opens with a terrified security guard frantically unscrewing a vent, desperately trying to escape from something unseen. Monitors flicker across the darkened control room, revealing empty halls and eerie rooms of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, a family entertainment center frozen in time since the 1980s. Suddenly, the guard is overpowered and knocked unconscious. When he awakens, he finds himself strapped to a chair. Slowly, a bear-shaped mask bristling with gears and springs descends onto his face, and his screams echo through the empty pizzeria. Meanwhile, Mike, a mall security guard, waits in line for lunch when he spots a man carrying a little girl. Acting on impulse, Mike tackles the man with brutal force, only to discover he's simply the girl's father. Fired on the spot, Mike meets with a career counselor who offers him an unusual job, a solo night shift at Freddy's. The counselor explains that the pizzeria has been closed for decades, yet the owner refuses to sell, keeping only one guard on duty to prevent vandalism. Mike, known for his string of failed jobs, initially refuses, reluctant to work nights. Back at his apartment, Mike finds an eviction notice on the door. Inside, he greets his babysitter, Max, and checks on his younger sister Abby, who is lost in her drawings. As a single guardian raising Abby, Mike carries the weight of responsibility heavily. That night, he falls asleep beneath a poster of a Nebraska forest, the soft hum of nature sounds from a cassette tape filling the room. In his dream, Mike is transported to a camping trip with his parents and younger brother Garrett. The serenity of the forest shatters when he loses track of Garrett, only to find him being abducted by a stranger's car. Mike's helplessness is palpable, the terror haunting him even after he wakes. The next day, Mike meets with his Aunt Jane and her lawyer, who are attempting to claim custody of Abby. A caseworker acknowledges Mike's devotion, noting that he appears at the center of all of Abby's drawings, the heart of her world. But there's a catch. Mike must secure a job to maintain custody. Cornered, he calls the career counselor and finally accepts the night shift at Freddy's, stepping into a world where shadows hide more than memories. They hide monsters. Mike leaves Abby in Max's care and returns to the long-abandoned pizzeria. The place is silent, dust motes floating in the dim light, yet he finds traces of its past life, an old cassette tape showing Freddy's as a cheerful family hangout, complete with laughter and singing. While exploring, Mike discovers a small statue of a balloon boy tucked inside a locker. The eerie stillness unsettles him, but exhaustion soon takes over, and he drifts into sleep. Once again, his dreams pull him back to the haunting memory of Garrett's abduction. This time, however, the dream is stranger. Groups of children in animal and pirate costumes appear, flitting through the shadows. When Mike asks who they are, they vanish like smoke. He wakes, unsettled, and returns home, the sense of foreboding lingering like a shadow behind his eyes. Meanwhile, Jane meets Max and her brother Jeff at a diner. Their conversation reveals a cruel plan. Jane hired Max to dig through Mike's personal belongings while babysitting, searching for evidence to undermine his custody of Abby. Max admits Mike hides nothing, except for his unnaturally long sleep, but Jane and Jeff scheme further, plotting to sabotage Mike's new job at Freddy's, hoping it will cost him everything. That night, Mike brings his Nebraska forest poster and cassette of nature sounds to the pizzeria, trying to cling to comfort in the surreal setting. Sleep drags him back into the dreamscape of Garrett's abduction, and the strange costumed children appear again. Determined for answers, Mike catches one, demanding to know who they are and what secrets they hold, but the child's pirate hook slashes his arm, and he jolts awake. At the apartment door stands Vanessa, a police officer whose beat includes Freddy's. She knows the pizzeria intimately, recalling it as the happiest place on earth from her own childhood. Noticing the scratch on Mike's arm, exactly where he was wounded in the dream, she bandages it, her calm demeanor both reassuring and unnerving. Vanessa explains the grim history. Freddy's was closed after several children mysteriously disappeared in the 1980s. She leads Mike back to the entertainment room and flips the switch. Lights flicker, machines hum to life, and the animatronics awaken. Freddy, a bear; Chica, a chicken; Bonnie, a purple rabbit; Foxy, the pirate fox; and Mr. Cupcake, a talking, sinister little cupcake. They sing and dance in an unsettling display of mechanical cheer before the power abruptly cuts out. As they exit, Vanessa warns Mike grimly, "No guard has ever lasted at Freddy's." The darkness seems alive, and Mike now steps into a world where shadows move with intent. After Mike and Vanessa leave for the day, Max, Jeff, and two of their friends break into the dark, abandoned pizzeria, intent on stealing valuables and wreaking havoc. But the pizzeria is no longer dormant. The animatronics stir, moving off the stage with mechanical precision. One friend stumbles upon Chica and Mr. Cupcake. In a horrifying instant, Chica hurls Mr. Cupcake at him, and the small animatronic devours his face. The other friend is relentlessly stalked by Bonnie, the purple rabbit, until his screams are silenced, his head smashed repeatedly against a door. Jeff is caught by Mr. Cupcake and Foxy, later found lifeless in a room filled with spare animatronic parts. Max, terrified, sees a child darting through the corridors. She follows into a room where Freddy, the bear animatronic, stands ominously. A child's voice calls from inside the machine, drawing Max closer. Before she can react, Freddy springs to life, violently ending her life in a single, terrifying moment. The next day, Vanessa arrives at Mike's home and meets Abby. She tells him about the break-in, implying negligence on his part for leaving the doors unlocked. She hands him a bottle of sleeping pills found in the house and questions their purpose. Mike opens up. He has been haunted by the memory of his brother Garrett's abduction, a trauma intensified when his parents died, leaving him solely responsible for Abby. He confides that he deliberately forces himself to dream of the abduction, using the Nebraska poster and cassette tape of nature sounds to trigger vivid, detailed visions. The pizzeria amplifies these dreams, providing clues he hopes will lead him to Garrett's kidnapper. With Max gone, Mike has no choice but to bring Abby to Freddy's. He tucks her into a small pillow fort, tidies up after the break-in, and nervously recoils at the Balloon Boy statue before finally falling asleep. Abby, however, wakes before him and begins wandering the haunted halls of the pizzeria. In Mike's dream, he confronts the ghostly children again, asking if they were victims of the 1980s abductions. They nod, pointing to a rabbit figure drawn in the dirt as the symbol of their abductor. Suddenly, Mike is awakened by Abby's screams. He rushes to find her surrounded by the animatronics, but instead of attacking, they are gently tickling her, their movements strangely affectionate. The animatronics clearly harbor no malice toward Abby. She hugs them and shows them her drawings. On the way home, Abby explains something chilling yet wondrous. The animatronics are inhabited by ghosts, and it is these spirits that bring them to life. Mike begins to realize the pizzeria is far more than just a mechanical nightmare. It is a haunted echo of the children's past. The next night, Mike and Abby return to Freddy's, only to find Vanessa already there. It quickly becomes clear that Vanessa knows far more than she's letting on. She understands that the animatronics are sentient. In the dimly lit pizzeria, humans and machines play strange, eerie games, their laughter and mechanical noises intertwining. Mike finds a moment to speak privately with Vanessa. Her anger is palpable. She scolds him for bringing Abby into the pizzeria. To make the danger clear, she leads him to a back room, revealing the horrifying truth. The animatronic outer shells are locked onto electronic skeletons with spring-loaded clamps, the very mechanism that could crush a human like the bear mask he saw at the beginning. Vanessa warns Mike in no uncertain terms. Stop chasing Garrett's abductor, and never bring Abby back to Freddy's. But Mike cannot let go. Determined to continue his job and uncover the truth about Garrett, yet unwilling to risk Abby's life, he calls Joan to babysit and returns to the pizzeria alone. In his dream, one of the mysterious ghost children finally speaks. They confirm the chilling reality. They are the same children abducted in the 1980s, now inhabiting the animatronics as restless spirits. The child offers a twisted bargain. Mike can enjoy dreams where Garrett and his parents are still alive, but in exchange, the children demand to play with Abby forever. Mike initially accepts, but horror and conscience overtake him. He breaks the deal, and the children lash out, attacking him in the dream. He wakes, only to be blindsided by Foxy, who knocks him unconscious. Meanwhile, Freddy himself appears at Mike's apartment. In a terrifying display, he incapacitates, or perhaps kills, Jane, then invites Abby to join him at the pizzeria. Without hesitation, Abby climbs into a taxi with Freddy, leaving the driver and the audience in shock. The taxi driver cameo is hilariously played by Corey Kenshin Williams. When Mike finally regains consciousness, he is strapped to a chair once again, the deadly Freddy mask lowering over his face. In a last-minute rescue, Vanessa appears, helping him escape. She explains the horrifying truth about William Afton, the man who created Freddy's. Wearing a yellow bunny suit, Afton abducted and killed children, including Garrett, and hid their bodies inside the animatronic suits. When the children's spirits began to possess the machines, Afton manipulated them, convincing the ghosts that he was their father. Realizing the danger Abby faces, Mike pleads for Vanessa's help. Tearfully, she admits she cannot go with him, but provides crucial guidance, a way to sneak back into Freddy's and a method to incapacitate the animatronics using electricity. She hands Mike a taser, and with resolve hardening in his eyes, he prepares to confront the nightmare head-on, knowing the safety of his sister and the memory of his brother depends on him. Mike sneaks back into Freddy's, heart-pounding, as he watches Chica lead Abby into a shadowed back room. With quick precision, he touches Freddy and Bonnie, buying himself time before following Chica. Inside, a nightmare unfolds. Chica and Mr. Cupcake are trying to force Abby into a marionette-like animatronic, its spring lock mechanism poised to impale her. Mike acts just in time, zapping the animatronics while Abby wriggles free. She collapses into his arms, trembling, as Mike whispers fiercely that he would never give her up. As they attempt to escape, the yellow bunny appears. Chaos erupts. Mike fights desperately while Foxy chases Abby through the halls. Just when capture seems inevitable, Vanessa intervenes, tasing Foxy mid-chase. Then, the horrifying truth comes to light. The yellow rabbit is Vanessa's father, the career counselor Mike met weeks earlier, now revealed as William Afton, the man behind the abductions, who assumed a new identity after Freddy's closure. Vanessa pleads with her father to stop, but he strikes her down in cold blood. Mike shouts instructions to Abby. Remind the animatronics who William truly is. The young girl quickly sketches a drawing depicting William in the yellow bunny suit, killing the animatronics. The act breaks his control. Freed from corruption, the animatronics turn on William, attacking him mercilessly. In the scuffle, the spring lock mechanism activates, impaling him. Bleeding and screaming, William vows he'll return, that he always comes back, before the animatronics drag him into the depths of the pizzeria. Mike and Abby manage to carry Vanessa to safety. Time passes. Mike and Abby's bond grows stronger, healed by survival and shared courage. They visit Vanessa in the hospital, where she lies in a coma, a grim reminder of the night's horrors. At home, Abby admits she feels sorry for the ghost children, now truly alone with William no longer orchestrating their torment. She asks if they can ever visit Freddy's again. Mike hesitates, then replies, maybe, someday. Meanwhile, in the dark recesses of Freddy's, William still lives, trapped in the yellow bunny suit. A threat lurking just out of sight. In a chilling post-credit moment, the taxi driver glances at his backseat and recoils in terror. There, impossibly, sits the Balloon Boy statue, silent and watching, hinting that the nightmare may not be over, and that's how the nightmare of Five Nights at Freddy's unfolds. Mike and Abby survive, but the horrors of Freddy's, and the spirit of William Afton, linger in the shadows, waiting. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a dive into the darkest corners of cinema. Thanks for watching Terror Hawk Recap, and we'll see you in the next spine-chilling story.